Hey YouTube, this is Ben Yessel. I do apologize because this video is really a little bit more specifically oriented around a video game bug in particular, and also specifically addressed to a Dfortae, uh, but also anyone else that can help is welcome to help. So let me get into the particulars here. So of all video games, there are really kind of a handful that I've enjoyed the most, to be honest, or really a handful that I just love to play. But whenever there's bugs that come up in these games, and really there's one in particular that's really annoying, it definitely is more than frustrating. But I'm a big guy, so big mature guy, so I can make sense of it, even if I spend hours trying to figure out something on forums and things. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. So this has to do with Baldur's Gate 2, and of course there's some spoilers here. So if you haven't played it or if you don't, whatever. This is a spoiler video. So by all means, don't watch this if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 2 and you want to play it and you don't want me to spoil the story for you. But if you have played it and you know what I'm talking about, by all means, I could use some help here. Chapter 5, Baldur's Gate 2, is just ridiculous. So, I hadn't played it for a long time. I had the original 1 and 2 probably a few different times. Bought them a few different times. I probably had. Then there's like another version I had, another series of games. Both those plus, I remember having Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2. I played all that stuff, and there was a GOG version I had, I think, on my old. Or a while back before my Mac went kaput, hard drive, and so now finally got the enhanced edition. It's like, okay, fine, Steve, fine, you told me on enhanced edition. So one problem, I'm playing it on a Mac. Another problem, it's the enhanced edition, and so you have this chapter where it's really kind of jacked up, where you have. If you are like me and you want to just buff party and you just go full blazing into I took care of the demon at the northwest corner of the Underdark for the little guys and the Smurf nibbling guys, and then after that I took care of both the mind flayers and the Elder Orb guys, which, especially in the case of the Mind Flayers, was not a small feat. Yeah, but I just didn't use. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. It was a little tough, and I was like, yeah, I finished both the Elder Orb, guys, and the Mind Flayer guys in the southeast corners of the area, east and south exits. So like, okay, it's time to. I remember I have to go up to the Drow, and I also did like this wizard quest thing. It was very taxing of your patience, but nice voice, so it's a nice little mini quest. So heading up to Drow City, did a little bit of fighting, and then I talked to Solifane. The thing is, once you accept the quest to go rescue Fairy, right? There's an issue because there's like those guys that stop you that try to fight you. If you fight them, now I'm gonna try doing this again. I'm gonna try doing all this again. I'm just gonna start this over from probably the beginning of chapter 5. But if you you fight those guys and they're pretty tough, and let's say you rest for, I'm assuming 8 hours. Why would you rest for longer than that? I don't know. But it was a 12-hour time limit for that quest. And you still have 4 hours to spare. Until you get down to where you need to be, which is near the exit of the Lithid City. Um, but they, of course, cellophane wasn't there. I've had this same issue before, actually on the GOG's version. However, the GOG version, I don't know. I wasn't even using a PC. Maybe I don't remember the details of this. This is so long ago, but like I was able to fix it. I found some way of fixing it. I don't remember how I fixed it, but I remember I had the same issue before. This bug in Baldur's Gate 2, where cellophane doesn't show up if you take out. I don't know if it's actually related to if you take out the lithid. You take care of all that stuff. I just know that he wasn't there, and you have to start it over. But I don't want to start it over and then have another bug come up on this game. And so, yeah, I'm beyond frustrated right now. I spent, I don't know how long tonight trying to figure out this stupid little thing. I was planning on being out of the inner city and killing Furkrag and all this stuff by this point. Like, I Beamdog. Like, did you know about this? I realize that fixing bugs is very tedious, very frustrating for everybody, for programmers, for mod guys, everybody. But it has to happen because the more a game is buggy, it sends the worst of it down the tubes. Now this is Baldur's Gate we're talking about. This is one of the best video games of all time, and usually you can circumvent bugs because there were bugs in this game. You can circumvent them by using your command thing, which you could use with PCs, or you could use, I don't know, the old Baldur's Gate in the INI files. Now they changed it to, I don't know, what is it, Lua or something? Lua file? Baldur Lua or something. At least for my Mac, that's what it was. And you can go to that little box and you can put in a little code, and you can bring up you're supposed to be able to just control spacebar, bring up a command prompt, put in what you need to put in, and you're good to go. I think that's how I fixed it last time. You can't do that on my computer now. It's High Sierra. It's a High Sierra Mac. 10 point, I don't know what. I can't keep track of this stuff. They always keep coming up with new updates. Why, I don't know. But, it's just a stupid little thing. It's like, this is supposed to be like my TV. It's supposed to be my entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. But it's not. So, people I've read so many comment threads tonight. It's just insane. An insane number of comment threads about this subject. I've read everything there was to see. I didn't want to subscribe to Beanbog necessarily just to like comment on these threads, but like I saw this, I saw the trends, and like this is a real thing. It has been a real thing in the past, and it was fixable. But now we're talking about Macs. We're talking about different operating systems, and we're talking about Beamdog, which I have mixed feelings about at this point. I mean, I didn't have anything against them until this happened. I'm like, put out a mod, maybe. It should have been out already. I waited a long time to get the enhanced edition of this game. And yeah, people at GOG were saying, don't get it. But I finally did. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And you think that there would be a mod for this by this point in time, since this game has been out for, I don't know, 4 years? But no. Beamdog is, I don't know what they're smoking. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their problem is. I'm sorry for my tone of voice here, but I'm very, very, I'm livid. It's like they don't, these game companies, some of them, they just, of course you can say they're a business, they care about money, but it's like they don't even care how much time you put into trying to figure out this crap that they should have taken care of in the first place. And there's too many things to keep track of sometimes, because these games are huge, and the coding, I'm sure, is insanely crazy. If you're talking about non-linear stuff, I don't know. I'm not a coder, this is Dfortae's thing, but like, then make something to make it work. That's what mods are for. Get the mods out there. Get a mod that works. Make it clear for everybody. And Steam should make it free, and they should do it for you. And Steam should have some customer service for crying out loud, too. It's not just Beamdog, it's Steam. It's both those guys. Steam has told me stuff. I can't even talk right now. Steam has sold me video games before that that stopped being supported. So, like, you can't run them. Or like, I don't know. It's like some kind of roller coaster game I got a while back where you can't save your game unless you do some screwy thing, which I don't know. Steam needs to get their butt in gear. It was great going from hard games or hard disk to now you can have a website where you can just kind of play the same game you bought on any device you have, so long as it's compatible with that device. It's a great way to go. I mean, to have those games for the rest of your life. I think, it's great. But Steam, it cannot, it's like, you can talk about the same thing with similar things with YouTube or any of these other these other companies where it's hard to get to someone that can help you out. Like someone on the phone, you can't find them. Where can you find them? Can you call Steam? Can you call Beamdog? No, they have forums for this stuff, and you have to wade through it all. And then hopefully if you know somebody who knows a bit about games and this stuff, and maybe they played these games before, or maybe they're familiar with these kinds of things somewhat, maybe they can help you out. In the past, I don't know, I just didn't run into very many bugs with Baldur's Gate in the past. Not like this. Not something where I can't even bring up a command prompt on my Mac. This is just stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you're following the technical things in this area, if you're familiar with this, I did the unchecking of the, some kind of something having to do with text edit or something. I used a text edit program to open up the Lua file. And then I made sure to uncheck the box. It's like autocorrect or something like that. It's a Mac thing. I did all that stuff. I read all this stuff, and it still wouldn't work. Just... Of course, it goes without saying, anybody who answers any questions on these forums, they belong in heaven, right? They need to be forgiven. They're just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a godsend, right? If you're really, I'm not a serious gamer compared to some. I'm not quite as serious as Dfortae. At least it's a question of what I guess you always enjoy playing. But I mean, like, yeah. Sometimes the only way you can figure out something is if you start over again. You just start over from So I'm starting over again from the beginning of Chapter 5, unfortunately. Even though, again, I did all this other stuff. I know there's some way forward. It might be a while before I play this game again. And this is Baldur's Gate 2 we're talking about. I mean, it's up there with, like, Alice in Wonderland or the American McGee's Alice. I never played the later ones because they're always on PlayStations or something. I never really got a PlayStation. I never got into that sort of thing. Which I'd love to do that. I don't know why the makers of Alice games didn't do that same thing for PC or Mac or something, but whatever. But, anyway. But I know, it's involved. But the thing is and then of course, Wheel of Time, American McGee's Alice, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Those are the best 4 games I've ever played in my entire life. I don't think anything else has been as good as those games, really, to be honest. It's so something like this is just it's infuriating. I mean, like Beamdog, you need to have people beating down their door. You probably don't even see half of. You probably don't see. You don't hardly see anybody. I mean, most people that have these issues don't post their questions on forums. They try to figure it out on their own, or they just start over at some earlier point, or I don't know. But yeah, so I'm a little worked up. So again, this message is for Dfortae. I do apologize about the intensity of the video, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So any help you could offer would be greatly appreciated. I should probably give you some money on your Patreon account too, especially if you're able to help me out with this, man. Yes, you know, yes. Okay, so, all right. Hopefully get this message. Catch you guys later, and hopefully talk to Dfortae soon. Bye for now.